This show is sponsored by HamiltonDomains.com, where you can get your domain starting at just $10.
All right, Andy Broadaway here with Tech Biz Geeks, and we're about ready to go into the very first drone expo at the Los Angeles Sports Arena. So let's go. All right, Andy Broadaway here with Tech Biz Geeks, and we're in probably one of the most unique booths that are here. We're inside of a car, but we're talking about some technology, and I'm here with Adam, correct?
Yes. We're with Control Me Robotics in Venice Beach, right off Abbot Kinney Boulevard, and we're here in the Mobile Video Village, and this is designed for an S1000 octocopter to be able to take off and do any type of aerial cinematography shot within an instant. Above us here in the moonroof of the Range Rover, what we have is some servo clamps that will actually release the S1000 at moment's notice with the push of a button. The LEDs will turn green when it's ready to be released from the mechanism, and then we can immediately take off, and we don't have to unpack the octocopter or anything like that, and we can actually fly this up to 45 miles an hour.
So this octocopter, you've got it connected. You could be driving down the freeway at 70 miles an hour or whatever the speed limit is, or 80 or more, and unleash it and go, correct?
Well, we've tested it up to 45. We haven't tested it up to 80 yet, but I would imagine that it would stay stable. I don't know that you could take off flight at that speed, but we can take off flight up to 45 miles an hour right now.
Wow, that's pretty unique. That's pretty cool. All right, so tell me more about what's your company's vision. We were talking on camera about that you've got a couple of primary focuses where other companies are focusing on other areas. What are you focusing on?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're really focusing on is mainly the future of this industry in terms of where drones are headed and what is needed to accelerate that as much as possible to make it safe. Because as drones become more and more popular, they're going to be crowding the frequencies that are available to a lot of the commercial public. And we're really concerned about that because nothing the FAA can do to regulate our industry is going to save anybody from a copter that has been overtaken from jam frequency or malicious hack or something like that. So what we're trying to do right now is develop some software that can make these systems very, very secure. And that's where we see the future of this industry heading. And we really want to focus on that and whatever it would take to customize a drone for any type of film set.
Okay, so just so I understand it, and the audience is listening, is that each one of these drones has its own. There is a frequency that everything runs on, sort of like with the old wireless phones that we have in our phone, the cordless phones. There's a frequency setup that's in there, and before those phones had a certain amount of channels that were in there. Now they've got unlimited amount of channels and channels where they can sync to itself. Is that something similar? Am I getting the idea that what you want to do is not just encrypt? Do you want to encrypt the signal, or do you just want to auto-sync the signal?
We want to encrypt the signal, so it's basically making it so no one else can jump onto that channel for that copter. The main thing is, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Parrot AR, but the skyjacking hack that was done last year, that was actually done by our CTO, Sammy Kamkar. And he's a really good hacker in terms of making things secure and thinking about what is bad and doing what is good. And that's really what we want to do for drones. We want to focus on how we can make these safe. And doing the total encryption is definitely what's going to do that.
Right. So each one of these devices then would have its own encryption. So the receiver and the transmitter would sync in, and then nobody could hack essentially into it. Are you guys developing that technology? Is that what you're working on?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And then what else are we looking at? Looks like you work with a lot of the manufacturers. So what are some of the manufacturers you're working with now?
We work with 3D Robotics. We work with DJI. We're dealers for both of them, and Sky Hero as well. They're a new brand out of Berlin, And we also work with a company out of Berlin called SkySense, and they make a mobile charging pad. So what we have here above with actually locking the copter in place, we're also working on something where you have a mobile charging pad. So when it lands, it's also something similar to like a Duracell power mat, like you would see for your cell phone. So you don't have to actually take the battery out of the copter. It can just charge from the mat itself. And we see that as a big thing in terms of how we consume power and how we regenerate battery life and things like that. But a lot of our business, is fixing phantoms, servicing things, making them custom as possible. And we really want to be the Tesla of drones, because we don't think that there's anybody that's servicing these in the sense of how the customer's needs are now. We have a lot of customers that will paint their Phantom, and there's a lot of metallic in the paint that will interfere with the GPS, so that's a big issue. We have a lot of issues where customers just experiencing things that we've already experienced for them, and we may try to make those experiences cheaper.
Okay, so what are the price ranges then? Are we looking at some solutions that we would be calling your company on?
Yeah, definitely. We have retractable landing gear for the Phantom that starts out at $250, but we also do completely custom setups. Like if you wanted to put a Red Epic on an X8, we can build that for you. We cut all of our own carbon fiber. We make about 75% of the drone in our Venice Beach lab. We don't make motors or batteries, and that's about the only thing that we can't make. But everything else we can make custom. So it really just depends. If you come to us and you say, I want to carry this camera, we would make a gimbal for that, or we would make any type of copter to carry what you're looking to do. Sometimes it's just you want to drop something in your neighbor's backyard, that type of thing. We can do that. It really just depends on what your time and your timeline and your budget is.
You said drop something in your neighbor's backyard. I can imagine there's all kinds of things you probably drop in your neighbor's backyard. So that'd be another show altogether, all on its own.
Thank you for watching TechBizGeeks. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TechBizGeeks. You can watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/TechBizGeeks. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TechBizGeeks. You can also subscribe to our RSS feed at techbizgeeks.com. Thank you for watching.